Hi guys, welcome back to Navigating the Periphery. My name as always is Deborah and this is my son Philip.
Hello.
We hope all of you are having a good day today. If you enjoy what we're covering on this channel, if you could please reach down and give this video a thumbs up and a like. Honestly, this is so important to us as content creators because the more likes we get, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. And we want to get our message out there and try to reach as many people as we can. Navigating the Periphery, we are trying to stop the stigma of a mental health diagnosis, one show at a time. If you know anyone who could benefit from watching this channel, please help spread the word.
Remember, it's okay not to feel or be okay all the time. You are not alone. We are here.
We are here. So Philip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Mom. How are you doing?
I am good. I am excited to discuss today's topic. Today, we are going to navigate the periphery of nostalgic depression. Reflecting on life before a diagnosis of a mental illness can be very complex and an emotional journey. For many, it's a period marked by confusion, challenges, and sometimes a sense of isolation, but also potentially moments of joy and achievement that were experienced in a different light, perhaps back to when one's life was more normal.
Nostalgia refers to those wistful, sentimental feelings when you recall significant past situations and or experiences. For instance, stuff you loved when you were younger, say certain TV shows, video games, and movies that bring you back to a happier time in your life. When life was far less stressful, if you notice today, I'm wearing a t-shirt from one of my favorite cartoons from when I was younger. It's Courage the Cowardly Dog. If you've never seen it, check it out. Basically, the premise is about a dog with a lot of anxiety who is devoted to his owner Muriel. Now back to the topic at hand. Nostalgia usually generates happy feelings, optimism, a sense of purpose or meaning in life, and social connection. However, there may be a drawback as well, such as unpleasant bite and an enduring aftertaste. I find this happens to me a lot, whether it's playing old video games, watching old TV shows and movies from my childhood. It brings me back to a time when I didn't have schizoaffective disorder, and life was more normal. Oftentimes it gets me down, and I can slip into bouts of depression because of it.
Normally, I can see when this starts to evolve and happen because I know my son, and I know his behaviors very well. I can see when he is playing Pokemon or some PlayStation games that he's yearning to go back to that time in his life. It's very normal to do this. We all do this from time to time. Whether it's visiting a store or a bakery from your childhood, or remembering a certain pastry or food you love, and eating it as an adult can bring you right back to a certain time in your life and make you remember a certain event you experienced like it was yesterday. However, for Philip, this can be very upsetting and cause anxiety, panic, and depression.
Longing for the past, something you cannot reclaim, can fuel dissatisfaction with the present. Nostalgic depression then can describe a yearning colored with deeper tones of hopelessness or despair. It's easy to harbor regrets or frustrations about how things were and how they were handled before knowing what you were up against. For me, that being my schizoaffective disorder diagnosis. It's important to try to use your reflections as a foundation for growth and healing. Understanding your past through the lens of your diagnosis can empower you to make informed decisions about your well-being and future. But this can be extremely difficult for me.
As I have spoken in the past, as a parent, it's very upsetting to watch your child struggle and not be able to help or relieve that feeling of struggling. I cannot bring Philip back to before he was diagnosed. I wish I could. There is a term for this. It is called nostalgic depression. Experts don't consider nostalgic depression a specific subtype of depression, nor is it a clinical term you'd find in a diagnostic manual like the DSM-5. But the concept combines elements of nostalgia and depressive feelings, offering a lens through which some people might interpret their emotional experiences. Nostalgia, traditionally considered a longing for the past, can evoke positive and negative emotions. When these reflections lead to or exacerbate feelings of sadness, loneliness, or depression, the term nostalgic depression might be used in casual or non-clinical discussions to describe this state. All the same, fixating on rosy memories of happier times and better days can affect your mood and motivation to make the most of your life in the present.
And as I have expressed in previous episodes, I love trivia. So here's a bit of trivia for today. Experts did consider nostalgia a mental health condition at one point. Physician Johannes Hofer first used the term to describe the anxiety, homesickness, disordered eating, insomnia, and other symptoms experienced by Swiss mercenaries during their time fighting away from home. By the 1800s, nostalgia was considered more of a melancholic depression tinged with homesickness and loss. In the late 1900s, sociologist Fred Davis began to draw clear distinctions between nostalgia and homesickness. Others took his work further, highlighting nostalgia's possible consequences and potential benefits.
Wow, thank you for that tidbit of trivia, Philip.
You are quite welcome, Mom.
Now, normally, if you're suffering with nostalgic depression, there are things you can do to help alleviate those feelings. Make an effort to connect with important people from your past and your present life. Besides giving you an opportunity to catch up on what's happening with each other, you can reminisce about good times you've had together. Nostalgia is more likely to remain healthy when it is shared, whether it's face-to-face, in person, or via social media. When nostalgic memories and interests are shared, feelings of belonging are fostered, along with greater optimism and positive self-esteem.
However, I can't and don't relate to this. See, before I was diagnosed, I went to college on campus. I had friends, and I did very normal things and activities. During the pandemic, and right as I was diagnosed, things changed for me. I wasn't able to socialize really. I was in psychosis. The only friend that knew was my friend Michelle. I no longer saw friends on campus because I then went to online classes due to my symptoms, the paranoia, and hypervigilance. So it's easy to say that to alleviate the nostalgic depression, to make an effort to connect with important people from your past and your present life. But for someone with schizophrenia or schizoaffective, that task is not an easy one. Plus, when some friends found out I was ill and what I was diagnosed, they no longer wanted to be friends with me, which was hurtful and difficult, but what can I do?
As a parent, it's very hard to watch all of this occurring and knowing there's nothing I can do about it. When your child hurts, you hurt. Sometimes even more. I thank God for Philip's friend Michelle. She is the best and has been very vital to Philip's well-being and recovery.
The symptoms of nostalgic depression are similar to those of other forms of depression. Nostalgic depression can be accompanied by sadness, despair, or regret, sometimes loneliness, loss, or social isolation and loss of interest in activities you usually enjoy. Now we discuss these types of feelings in episode 12 on anhedonia because those symptoms are very similar. Also, these feelings can be accompanied by feelings of pessimism or hopelessness.
Depression that accompanies nostalgia can lead a person to retreat from social events and interactions. They may begin feeling social anxiety and prefer to spend more time alone. They may spend greater amounts of time reminiscing about their past to the exclusion of attention to current responsibilities, relationships, or opportunities for enjoyment. It's important to put the potential risks of nostalgic depression in perspective because for many people, nostalgia can be healthy and beneficial. Reminiscing about pleasant memories from the past can improve your mood and stimulate inspiration and motivation. Nostalgia can provide you with a greater sense of meaning in your life. And I do try to point this out to Philip often, that great memories can make him feel good and hopeful.
And at times, I do feel good and hopeful for the future, especially now that I'm very stable on my current medication regimen. This channel has definitely aided in that happiness, but it is still extremely difficult and hard because some days I do get caught up in that what could have been or how my life was before I was diagnosed, and it just makes me depressed and sad.
Revisiting a happy or healthy period from the past can offer you hope for a brighter future by reminding you that what was possible before can be possible again. By reminding yourself that the younger you who bravely stood up for what you believed in, or who dared to try a new sport or tackle difficult challenges, is the same person that you are today. That you can summon the courage to face daunting situations or help you realign or reassess your current priorities. Using lessons learned in the past can help us solve problems in the present. I mean, we all have issues, anxieties, and become depressed over nostalgic things, or what could have been. It's important that we try to keep moving and move forward.
I can agree with this. It's very important to try and do. But for people like me, or any of you guys out there diagnosed with schizoaffective, or any other mental health issue, I know this can be difficult, so try not to be hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself, and remember that your value is not diminished by your diagnosis or the challenges you face because of it. Remembering the time before your diagnosis can bring you both pain and comfort. It's important to acknowledge these feelings without letting them define your entire narrative. Your journey through mental health challenges is a part of you, but it's not the entirety of your identity or future. With time, support, and self-compassion, many find a way to integrate your diagnosis into a fulfilling life. Discovering resilience and strength they may not have known they had. It's a deeply personal process, and there's no right or wrong way to feel or heal. Please remember this, and also remember it's okay not to feel or be okay all the time. You are not alone. We are here.
That was a great episode.
I agree.
Thank you so much out there for joining us for today's episode of Navigating the Periphery, where we're trying to stop the stigma of a mental health diagnosis one show at a time. So we hope all you guys out there enjoyed today's episode. Please leave your thoughts and comments below. And until we see you again in our next episode coming really soon, please take care and have a really wonderful evening. Take care for now. Bye.
Bye.
You ready for your close-up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
It stopped. You did great.
That was probably one of the best takes ever. I need a drink.
Okay. I need a drink. You sound like Joan Crawford.
I need...
You gotta lean this way. Yeah.
Really?
Centered in the... Sit up straight.